the word opportunity, if we kind of look at what that is first, it's having the time or the circumstance that makes something possible, right? So an opportunity is the time or the circumstance that makes something possible. So what I want to ask you is, what is your something? What is it that you are trying to make possible with the business that you're running? So there are coaches in here. I think we've got people in accounting, people in counselling, people in the health space. We have people who are selling products. But mostly in this group, we are service-based businesses. So we are offering something that's not a physical product, but results in results, right? So what's the thing that you're trying to make possible? So, for example, for me, it's transformation. The thing that I want to make possible, the thing that I want to make happen, is to create clients who I can help transform their lives. So from a one-to-one space, it's looking at, pretty much I coach anyone. So, coaching is about creating the space for people to think the thoughts that they don't really have time to think normally, and then challenge the thoughts and then create new thoughts and actions on their new ways of being so that they can take steps forward. Because a lot of us, we think about a lot of things, but we don't get a chance to do things. So we're in our heads and we're not in action. So in a one-to-one space, most people don't necessarily know what it is that they need to move forward, which is why we can coach anyone. Now, from the group perspective, it's mostly around business, people who are wanting to start a business or already have a business and are trying to grow it, trying to make it more scalable, trying to plug the holes, trying to create more clients and all of that kind of thing. So my programs are specifically for those people. So when it comes to conversing about who I help, I'm very clear about what that looks like. So when I think about, as I said, what is your something? For me, everything that sits behind all of this is ACT, which is Accept, Create, Transform. That's the framework. So it's easy for me to have conversations with anyone because I can explain how ACT relates to life and also relates to business. And so when it comes to looking at opportunities, I need the time and the circumstance to make ACT a possibility that enables me to create clients off the back of it. So either you're joining my group program, you're joining this Facebook group, or you're becoming a one-to-one client. So it's important for you to get clear about what your something is. So what I want to do is share these kind of 5 tips. So the first one is it's really important for you to know your stuff. And when I say know your stuff, I'm not talking about the fact that you need to have ridiculous amounts of qualifications and certifications and 50 years experience and all of that. I'm not talking about that. You need to know in depth, what is it that you're about? What is your message? What is it that you're trying to help people with? You need to really, really, really understand your why. Why am I here? What's my purpose? And the reason that's important is because when it comes to creating opportunities, it's important for you to communicate to others what it is. And when I say communicate, it's not just about talking. It's not just about having a conversation with someone. It's in everything that you do. It's in the way you speak. It's in the way you present yourself. It's in the way you show up, on the internet and social media platforms, how you show up in private as well as public, how you show up with friends and strangers and everything. It's the essence of who you are. And so the idea is that you should be able to, whatever your business relates to, you should be able to speak on that at any given time, right? Any given time, without a script, you should be able to just talk about it. So I can talk about anything mindset related. I can talk about fears, doubts, insecurities and whatever. And it took time because I kind of thought I knew about this stuff, but I had to really explore my own thoughts and what it was, my purpose was, and what was the message that I really wanted to get out. And so when you're very, very clear on that message, every conversation you have becomes an opportunity, because you don't know what other people need to hear. So again, it's very, very important for you to know your stuff. Hi, Colby. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So the next thing is, again, around building relationships. And I know I've said this before, and this is specifically linked to creating clients. Building relationships is important. And I'll actually tell you a story about this. So I had a conversation. So I was hanging out with a friend one day, and we happened to just be talking about random stuff, and the topic came up about work, and he wasn't really, too happy in his job, and, all of those kind of things. And I was saying, I don't miss those days, having to go into work and be thrust into a team of people I don't particularly like. And then, this team's against this team, and, all of these kind of things. And so I said, that's why this program that I'm trying to do is to kind of help people overcome that. And I was talking about, the importance of mindset. And so he started asking questions, and I thought he was just interested, curious, So I started talking about it. And as I continued to talk about it, I was introducing this concept of ACT, and how actually we can use something like ACT in business, in teams. Because if we accept the fact that we have been thrust into a team of people we may not particularly like, which is not ideal, but if we accept that, and we say, right, I can't change this situation unless I choose to get another job, right? I'm not going to get another job. So let me accept the situation I'm in, free myself up from the burden of the fact that it doesn't look a certain way, and then decide what I want to create. So what's my contribution to this team? How can I help this team be something that I would be willing to be a part of, right? And so we were talking about all of this stuff. And then next he's like, do you know what? I'm going to speak to my boss about that. And I'm like, what? And so he says, so in the organisation he's in, there's a lot of team conflict. And so just by having a general conversation and me, generally speaking about what it is that I'm doing, it turned into this potential opportunity where he's now going to speak to his boss about potentially bringing me in to offer some group coaching. So this is what I'm saying, is that if you know your stuff, and in every kind of relationship that you are building, you are constantly engaging with people and talking about what you do, not from a selling perspective, but just from sharing perspectives. You don't know what the other person is thinking, and you don't know who they know. And so that's an opportunity that then gets created simply because I was having a conversation. So as always, relationships are really, really important, and they don't always have to lead to a sale. So as long as you've gone into building a relationship for the sake of building a relationship, I just want to know more about you. Who are you? What do you do? And if there's later on down the line an opportunity that I can help, yeah, definitely I want to do that. But that's not my intention. So Colby, if you're still on, let me know if there's been a time where you've built a relationship with someone, and then it turns out that at some point you ended up managing to coach them or help them, train them, or deliver speaking or something like that. I'd be interested to know. So the third tip then, so far we've talked about knowing your stuff. I've also talked about building relationships. And the third tip is reaching out. So Colby is saying building relationships is key. Yes, if I could like that comment right now, I would. It is everything. It is absolutely everything. So the third tip is reaching out. So one of the things that sometimes we can get into, and I struggled with this a lot actually, even just last year, is we go through a process where we are speaking to potential clients, and we say, this is how we can help. And then we say, this is what it looks like to work with me. And then they turn around and they say no. And so immediately our thing is, okay, so they don't ever want to work with me. And so what we do is we put them in a box of don't ever contact them again because they've said no to me. And all they've done, and this is what I always say when it comes to asking that question, is this the right time for me? That's the question they're asking. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got to do with them and whether or not it's the right time for them. So if they say no to you now, it does not mean that they're going to say no to you again. And I think I might have shared a story how one of my current clients is someone who said no to me 2, maybe 3 times before he ended up joining Momentum and then ended up joining Turning Point. So what if I'd just given up after the first no? You know, yeah. So Colby is saying timing is so important for acquiring clients. Exactly that. It's not the right time for him, but it was the right time for him the 3rd or 4th time I happened to ask. And the reason I kept asking is not because I'm being salesy, it's because I'm still mindful of the fact that he is struggling with something and I can help. So therefore, I want to check if he's ready to receive the help that I'm offering to give. And Colby is saying the more present and available we can be, the better we can serve when the time is right. Exactly. Because we can remove all of this baggage of I need to sell, I need to sell, I need to sell. And we're just being like, I'm here. I haven't spoken to this person for a while. Let me reach out. You know, what's happening in your world? Is there something I can help you with? Yeah, let's jump on a call. Let's see if we can do something. So whether somebody has told you yes before or whether somebody has told you no before, ask, right? Reach out. Because the other thing is that some of these people can also offer you referrals. So don't ever doubt that someone speaking about you when you're not in the room is still a form of marketing and advertising, and you don't have to pay for it. If it comes with a raving review, then it means that you can create clients quicker because somebody else has already done the vetting work for you to bring them to you so that you can now have a conversation strictly about what does the work look like. So just reading a comment I missed. Some of my coaching clients have been from relationships I've been over months or years without expecting to turn them into clients. Exactly. It's about, as you say, being present and available and having an opportunity to speak to people. So tip 1, know your stuff inside out and ensure that it's related or aligned to who you are. So it just exudes from you because that's just who you are being. The second is to build the relationships and making sure that you are communicating to them. What are you passionate about? Why are you passionate about this? What is your ultimate dream and vision? Because they will remember that, and then you never know who they may know who could potentially introduce you, and then again opportunities are created. Third tip, reach out. Whether they said yes, whether they said no, it doesn't matter. Just reach out, just checking in. How are things? You know, this is what's happening in my world. Just wanted to see if you still wanted to have a conversation about X. If not, that's fine. I'll check in on you again in a few months or a few weeks or whatever it may be. And then you leave it there. You always have them in mind. If you have anything that might support them in the meantime, send that. Because again, it's just showing them that you're just genuinely wanting to help them. You're not just waiting for them to close the sale. So the fourth thing, and this is literally where I live, create spontaneously, right? So I have this thing, I think the pause button or the fast forward button got broken when it came to me. So I stay in create. I'm always creating. But the thing is, because I know my stuff, I know my thing, and I'm building relationships, I can create on the spot. And so again, I think I shared this in the challenge recently, is that I had a conversation with somebody and they were talking about one of the organizations that they were working with. And I created this entire program. Like, anyone would think I'd been running this thing for like 3 years because I could tell you everything straight face, you know, yeah, and this is the outcome and this is how it would be done. And, you know, the idea is that we want to take them from here and we want to get them to here. And these are the tools, here are the resources. But ultimately, it's about the change of mindset. It's about getting out of your head, getting into action and X, Y, Z. It's, you know, all of the stuff that I kind of tell you guys. So because I know my stuff, because I know the relationships I'm building, because I know I am my product. So when I'm in a conversation with somebody and I get a sense that they need some help, I can tell them that I can help them. right? That service didn't need to exist before I opened my mouth. And that's what sometimes tends to happen. Because what it is, the service is the wrapper, right? It's the parcel. And I think I've said this to you before. The impact is more important than the parcel that it's delivered in. So if we focus on the fact that we know our stuff and we know the impact that we can have with the services that we are offering, if it doesn't look like the program or the workshop or the course or the whatever it is that you're doing, the service that you've already spent a day working out, it doesn't matter. What's important is the transformation or the impact that you can give that person. So if it means it needs to look different, who cares? The fact is you're going to do the thing that you want to do, which is serve. So just be mindful that it is totally within your power as the business owner to create spontaneously. It doesn't need to exist until you make it so. So it's really important that you can create spontaneously by listening to what people are saying and figuring out how what you already know can help them, but based on what you've been listening to, the parcel or the package that would be best suited to them in that moment. And then you tell them about that. So know your stuff, build relationships, reach out, create spontaneously. And then the fifth tip is to repackage. Don't be afraid to repackage or repurpose. So I have a service and I've been offering this and I've been offering this and I've been offering this. And every time I offer it, someone says no. It could just be because of what it looks like. So if you're finding that maybe nobody is buying, maybe you're finding that, because again, remember the transform step of ACT is to seek opportunities for growth, which is to seek feedback. So why is everyone saying no? What was it about what I offered that you didn't resonate with you? It's just not the right time. Fine. I think it's good, but I can't afford it. Or I think it's great, but I don't really want to work in a group. Or I think it's great, but I don't want to work one-to-one. Listen to what people are saying. And then all you're doing is taking the same services, but then repackaging them, repurposing them so that it's more attractive to the people that you're trying to serve. So, for example, if I had a 12-week program, and the feedback that I constantly kept getting was 12 weeks just feels so long, I can say, right, well, let's do 8 weeks. There's absolutely nothing stopping me from doing that. Yes, it means that I'm probably not going to deliver 4 weeks worth of content. So remember, if we're shrinking the time, we have to shrink the work. And if you want to shrink the price, you definitely need to do that. So scaling it, 4 weeks is this, 8 weeks is that, and 12 weeks is that. Does it mean that they'll get less? To a degree, yeah, but they'll still get a transformation. But if that's what they can afford and you can help them kickstart and push them in the right direction, the question you would need to ask yourself, is it better that I help them part of the way or not at all? And when you're seeing people struggling and you reach out to them and you offer to help and they really need your help, and then they say no, that they can't afford it, it's up to you. There's absolutely nothing stopping you from saying, okay, well, I'm sorry that I can't work with you in that. But then you also have an opportunity there to say, okay, what would work for you? What if we were to make this 4 weeks just to start and see how you get on? So you can really feel the value of this and see how this changes your world. And if they say yes to that, then that's fine. You don't have to deliver the 12 weeks in the 4. You deliver 4 weeks worth of that. But at least you've started to help somebody. At least you started to give them the break that they're needing. So that's, again, another useful tip as well. So just to recap, know your stuff, build relationships, reach out. Know your stuff inside out, build relationships, and make sure everyone is aware of what it is that you're involved in, your passions, your vision and all of that, because again, you don't know who knows who, and you don't know that they might need you in the future. Reach out. Remember to ask people who previously said yes, ask people who have said no, and ask anyway. You're not going to know if it's a yes or a no until you ask. So don't fear whatever they say. Remember, they're answering the question, is this the right time for me? And if you want to, you have an option to ask for referrals. So do you know anyone who might be interested in this? Because they've understood who you are and what you're about, they're more likely to refer you, even if they have said no. And then feel free to create spontaneously. So again, by knowing your stuff and knowing how you help, if you're speaking to someone and you haven't mapped out a service that you think could help them, make one up on the spot. You're not giving any less value. You're just saying, let me tailor this to the person to ensure that I can help them with whatever it is that they're struggling with. And then you do that, and then they're helped, they feel great. It's not really much different for you. And you've got another package to offer that probably sounds a bit more attractive. And then lastly, repackage. So if you have a service, if you have some content, if you have something and it's not really selling, so to speak, if people are not really that attracted to it, repurpose it. Instead of a 12-week thing, make it 8 weeks. Instead of 8 weeks, make it 4. You know, instead of a 6-month agreement or whatever. Again, sorry, apologies, I keep speaking in coach speak. But if you've got a 6-month thing going on, why not offer 3? Right? So sometimes people just need to experience you before they can commit fully. And that's okay too. So if you're up for that, then just give them that option, repackage something that's more attractive to those who are willing to work with you, but maybe don't want to commit so much time up front. And it's the best of both worlds. You get to help them, they get to move forward, and you never know what could lead from there, right? Again, referrals, they could come back. It doesn't matter. The point is, why are we here? It's to serve, it's to help. So if we can do that by changing up a few of the logistics, let's do it. Let's not, keep saying, well, if they say no, then they can't think it's worth it. Not everybody has the financial means to invest in high ticket items. And if we're saying that everybody does, then what we're doing is ignoring a whole group of people who are not in the right mindset or have the opportunities to increase their income and their salaries and their finances to be able to afford those things. So we're essentially saying that actually, unless you have money, you can't get help. And I know that for me, that's not the message that I want to deliver. The whole idea is that possibility is available for everybody. And if we are all able to help somebody, then all of us can be uplifted, right? And one of the main things that I just want to get across, so they're the 5 tips, but please be patient. So again, just looking at a comment that Colby made earlier, said some of my coaching clients have been from relationships that he's had over months or years, right? So just because it's not a yes today, just because I've done this thing and it's not a yes tomorrow, it doesn't mean that it won't turn into an opportunity. So it's not about sitting back, having the website and all of these great services and say, look, I can help you now, come to me. Opportunities are created in the same way clients are. So it's about the relationships you're building, who you're talking to, what you are embodying, and creating things on the spot, getting really, really creative with who you are and what you can offer, reaching out to people and realizing when something's not working, okay, fine, let me repackage it and put it back out and see what happens. Don't keep banging your head against the wall saying, well, if it's not in this rigid tunnel, it's never going to work. This is like a water slide. You get to go down and up and down and left and right and all of those kind of things because you own your business. So this is really just about getting creative, speaking to the people that you can help, building the relationships, and when an opportunity presents itself, if you are able to help them. And that is it for the most basic part of it. So does anybody have any questions or any other comments about what I have gone through today? As I said at the top, an opportunity is the time or circumstance that makes something possible. So it's all about possibility. What is possible? And if you are creating things, if you are speaking to people, if you are, repackaging things and reaching out and making sure you're doing your work on you and knowing your stuff, opportunities are always there. Like literally, I could go on for another half an hour just telling you about all of the random opportunities that have come from absolutely where I believed nowhere in the last 3 months. You know, and it's just because I'm not searching for the sale. I'm searching for ways to serve. And just because I am serving, just because I am being present, and I am exuding who I am and being what I say, opportunities are being created in those moments, and people are willing to help create opportunities for me. And so this is what it's all about. Who can we help? How can we help each other? When can we help each other? Where can we help each other? Let's just be out there and help. So again, just a reminder, if you're interested in Turning Point, which is the 10-week group coaching program, which starts next week, please do reach out, either comment below or drop me a Facebook message, so we can set up a call to talk about whether it could be the right fit for you. So it's just a great way to get you moving. For anyone who's been on the Momentum Challenge, 4 days is a taster of what we achieve in the 10 weeks. And so by slowing down, getting that clarity, and really creating something that's fully aligned to you, you grow in confidence, you grow in self-belief, and your ability to just create whatever it is that's on your mind by getting into action is the main focus of that program. So if that is something that you may feel that you need right now, please do reach out to me. Let's have a conversation and see if Turning Point is right for you.